Turn that on. No, not unlock. Hide. There we go. Turn that on. Turn that on. Okay. So, let's see. Last time, we had a little bit of a brief intermission. You guys made it back to the estate. Uh, Essentially, as soon as you stepped through the gate, you were like a messenger was just getting ready to come through the gate to come find you guys. Thankfully, he didn't have to. Escorted you to a briefing where you met this lady, Untaro. Uh, uh, Essentially, she's from another world. Not a recursion, but a whole other world. She kind of lives in the strange and operates this temple, for the lack of a better term, I guess, where she leads other people or other like refugees from planets that have been destroyed by planivores. During her research for the strange, she came to Earth, or found Earth, because Earth is kind of unique, or at the very least, almost unique. And you guys ended up. I don't remember if she brought you information, or I think she did. Your next lead is between her and Crow Hollow. You guys are heading to Rook, this kind of almost biopunk world. Uintaro let you know a little bit about it. It's apparently Rook was established kind of in the shoals, like in the recursions of Earth, but it's actually older than humanity. They think the natives there were probably in a similar situation to Uintaro, where they escaped to their planet before it was destroyed and kind of crashed or settled in the shoals of Earth. But you guys are looking for a place called Whole Body Grafts, which is supposed to be where the Dustman's operating out of, or where the spiral's being operated out of, I guess. Beyond that, it was essentially the doors were open for the armory. Was there anything specific you guys wanted? I think kind of off game. Ian, you mentioned wanting to get an RPG.
Yes.
The excitement. Let me see here.
Joy.
I'm trying to think of what that'll end up converting to in Rook. Because it's going to be an earth weapon when you get there. Ooh, there we go. It'll become a pod launcher. So it's not a weapon per se. But let's add this now. Pod launcher. I guess we can call it a weapon. Technically, it counts as other equipment. What it does is it will take grenade pods and launch them up to long range.
All right.
And we'll call that a heavy weapon. Yeah, that's going to be a heavy weapon.
So we've got a mortar.
Yeah. And can you give me a D6 plus 3? How many rounds are you going to find? Or how many rounds are in the armory? 9. You have 9 rounds for that thing. This is also gonna be like one of those rare things. Like it's a ranged weapon, but this is actually going to operate on might because it's going to be one of those like you have to almost like force like manhandle this thing to get it to be in the right angle instead of speed. So,
Bronk boy gun.
uh huh. Okay. Anybody else? What else do you guys want?
Rifle.
Rusty's wanting a
Right.
rifle.
I ideally something medium size that is semi-automatic.
So, what? Well, first off, so rifle.
Yeah.
You said medium.
I'm like on the scale of rifles being like small M4 to Barrett 50 cal,
Mm-hmm.
medium. I don't know what that would count as in this game. Like a lightweight DMR.
So something like a carbine.
Yeah, actually, a
Okay,
carbine would fit perfectly. Yeah, something that
perfect.
I can just pull the trigger once and one bullet goes down range.
Okay, we'll count that as a medium weapon. Let's see here.
I'm pretty sure that's what I just became trained in for that exact reason.
Medium ranged.
I think so. I can't remember. It was 2 weeks ago, and I was very, very tired.
Very true.
Oh yeah, that's why I didn't take a sniper rifle. Inability for patience and discipline.
Yeah, that's what you got me for.
Ian, are you good on Overwatch? Ian, are you there? And then you just see me right next to the group with the sword, the spine lance. It's like,
Okay.
oh shit, I was doing something.
One fucking job.
We'll count that as a spike rifle.
That's fine with me.
So when you get that to Rook, it's going to count as a spike rifle. It's a heavy weapon,
Okay.
but
I think I'm still proficient with. I'm proficient with all weapons, I believe.
yeah, you're practiced with all weapons, so it doesn't affect you that in that way.
Yeah, I use.
It deals
no,
6
okay.
damage.
7 for me because +1.
That's why I asked you if you wanted light, medium, or heavy for your firearms for your chosen weapon.
Weapon master. Yeah, with your chosen weapon.
Yeah,
I can't
light,
remember
medium,
which
or heavy.
specifically. I'm guessing he chose heavy then.
Okay. Spike
What did I
rifle has
choose?
long range and it generates its own ammo.
Yes.
So it's very similar to Imelda's spike pistol, where it just kind of grows these spikes off the side of it, but you can fire little slivers of that.
That is convenient.
I imagine for
having to
that
reload.
rifle, it probably has almost like a crystal that grows out the side. And what it does when it fires is it shaves off a layer of that and just fires that layer.
Ooh.
Okay,
Again,
now
we're
it's
just adding
Eldor.
more. Yeah, I was going to say that's a shuriken gun. We're just adding more and more. I'm convinced this is Kimura now. This is Dark Eldar bullshit.
Now, I mean, that means it can't fire like a rapid fire or anything like that, but
If I'm using this thing, it's because I want the range on it.
yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, I'm using my other weapons.
And okay.
Yeah, just one to find that Eldor gun. Psychically generated ammo that it shoots tiny, flat, like discs.
Mwah. Glorious. Yeah, I'm convinced the designers of this setting took a lot from, like,
Oh, probably.
mostly Warhammer, some Farscape, some Stargate, and a little bit of Aliens.
Imelda, did you get all the stuff you wanted? Oh, you guys also had options of ciphers. If you have a request for, if not a specific cipher, but like what you want, something that it can do.
I don't know. I mean, is there anything like um disruptory? Like, given that all of this seems to be sort of biomechanical, whatever,
Hmm.
I'm thinking, like an EMP sort of thing. Like, didn't we have a a cipher that was an EMP sort of thing?
There's a few different detonation ciphers, which are effectively like grenades that do different things. Yeah. So you're wanting something kind of EMP like, something disrupt.
Yeah, something that would disrupt computers, machines, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm,
You know, I just feel like that's something like a lot of my stuff is sort of hacky,
mm-hmm.
but if hacky doesn't work, then
Let me look here. Items. Detonation. Oh, that's okay. What's this?
also out of curiosity,
Mhm.
what does my spirit slaying dagger do in Rook?
Your
Or
spirit
I'll
slaying
use the
dagger.
soul sword, which
I would say those would become essentially like let me see here.
like
Your spirit slaying dagger is going to, or your dagger will take on. Well, it came from the horn of that deathless charger, so it'll still be very almost rudimentary.
yeah.
It's gonna be like almost like you're in a biopunk world, and this is a stone tool. Simple but effective. It'll
I
still
was
have the
gonna
same
say
effect on.
sometimes that's what you need.
Oh yeah. Um, it's not going to do much because there's not really like ethereal things in Rook. So your bonus part won't do too much. Your soul sword, on the other hand, um, give me a knowledge strange.
Mhm.
We're looking for a tier 4 or higher, or a 4
Okay.
check.
Um, so I'm specialized in that. Does that like
It'll
automatically
automatically
figure?
add a +6 to it.
Okay, so
Or like a 2 levels higher. 3. Okay.
the
Well,
3.
so the soul sword is actually a sword of slaying. Uh, so if you open it up, you can kind of take a look at it. What it does, oh, excuse me, is when you hit with this thing, you have the option. On a hit, you can deal extra cold damage, an extra 4 cold damage with this thing. The downside is there's actually essentially a soul trapped inside of this thing.
Oh, hmm.
Uh, Whenever you use that, there's a small chance, just like a tiny, like, probably never happen. You could say 3 in 100 that it'll happen.
I think that's called a
That
33% chance. No, I'm joking.
it will require a soul, or it'll actually essentially use that soul, and you'll have to either kill something right away, or your own soul will be pulled in there.
Okay. Well, we're used to that. We had the demon car thing. It's all good.
And when you get that into Rook, it's gonna have the same effects. It's gonna have a little bit of a different look and appearance to it. It's gonna be a death blade when you get it into Rook.
Okay.
What that is very much like Vander's little poison needle thing that I already forgot what I called it, what it was. But it's gonna be like that. You've got this. You can see like kind of at the crossguard where there's almost like a chamber where you could load it up with poison, and if you were to stab somebody with that sword, it would deal poison damage. So I imagine on Rook, instead of cold, it would deal poison.
Okay. Cool.
So maybe on Rook, like, this sword just kind of automatically generates its own poison. So that's why it has the 3 in 100 chance.
Okay.
I like the idea that you draw it and there's just the sound effect for hellhounds from Nazi zombies. You just say, "Fetch me their souls."
Oh, detonation
And you're
cipher.
just like-
That's what I was looking for. Okay. Detonation cipher.
Sorry, I
1d6 plus
distracted
2.
you.
No, no problem. So, give me a d6 plus 2.
Okay.
It's a level 8.
And I checked. I do have space for one more cipher. So
Not anymore. And that's going to be electrical discharge. Make that easy. There we go. Okay. Rusty, you got your stuff. Vander, we got or not Vander. Ian, we got your stuff. Vander, was there anything else Vander was wanting?
He wouldn't be going in for any weapons.
Mm-hmm. Ciphers can heal too,
Yeah.
or give you bonuses or perks. There's actually ones that can affect your abilities. Like they can make your ability stronger or have a bigger area.
Yeah, one I just noticed I had is effort enhancer, which gives me a free level of effort, which can't even go over the limit. Which
Can it? Oh.
I think it can. It's effort provided.
Does not count towards the maximum. So yeah.
Christ,
I
how
think
much
I'd
do
like
I?
to get a cipher.
If I need
that-
5.
I think I'd like to get a cipher that added to my intellect edge.
Intellect edge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta remember. There was one that we had for that. I gotta remember what it was now. Manifest.
Are we supposed to have 3 points of edge between our skills right now, or 4?
Should be 4.
Okay, I don't think I marked it down last time.
Let me look at your Earth, because all I did was just copy it straight from Earth, because we did the core levels up on Earth.
Yeah, I think I forgot
1,
to add the
4.
4th point of edge.
yeah, I actually have 5 because we started with 1 and we're tier 4.
There we go. I got it for you, Vander.
Okay, thank you.
That's because you
I might have gotten something.
you
as
had already bumped
started
up
one of
your
my
edge. Yeah.
focuses.
No, you had an extra set of 4, so you bumped that up onto your edge.
Ah, okay.
That's apparently the one thing I forgot to change over was what you guys had increased.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was the one I've taken from this level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot to reset your radio bubbles. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. I know I've got one built. I don't remember what it's called. So, Vander, you're going to get... I'm just going to build one in your sheet. Booster. 3. It adds 1 to your intellect edge for an hour.
Sweet.
Because I know we had one that did that before, and I don't remember what it was called, so
Yeah. I think that'll be it as far as Vander's looking for stuff in the armory.
Alright. All of your anybody that had a cell phone, it has changed. I think Vander's the only one without a cell phone.
I think so, yeah.
I have a flip comlink.
Everybody with a cell phone has an item called an umbilical.
Oh yeah, I wondered what that was.
Mm. So what an umbilical is? Who remembers the Matrix, the first one, or any of them
Yes.
really? An umbilical is it's kind of the opposite of that spike they would use to jack in. Like this umbilical is attached to you, and you can go up to a computer and spike into the computer, and you can connect to the internet.
Interesting.
Hmm.
But once you're spiked in, you can communicate to anybody else that's spiked in.
And I'm guessing we spike into our whatever our phones are now.
Your phones become this spike. So you would in Rook, there's going to be essentially what would be the modern, not modern, the '90s equivalent of a phone booth, of a payphone. I just realized I haven't. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw where a payphone was at, and I don't know.
The end of my road, but it's
Lucky
never been
you.
used.
There were a lot in Louisiana, but they didn't work. They were generally broken.
Yeah.
I think mostly by crackheads trying to break into them.
Yeah.
I can't think of the last time I've even seen a cell phone in the last 5 years.
Yeah, I have. Now I think about it, some of those may be gone because I haven't been to Louisiana in like 7.5 years.
Yeah.
Nah.
But
Yeah,
they
pretty
don't
much-
tend to update anything there.
Very true. Okay. So you guys are going to get it all set up. You're going to get all armed up and kind of reporting back to Manners. You're going to see Uintaro's packed up as well. Like she's got this essentially she's got like this gym bag, but it's huge. And it's got like that OD military green kind of duffel bag style. And she's going to kind of set this down. Are you ready?
Yeah, come in with us.
Oh, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Well,
Right.
this will be interesting.
Rusty will quickly turn to Manners and just go, anything else we need to know?
She'll essentially, while you guys are getting ready, she was getting like this file together for you on what you would need to know about Rook. Let me find it. So here's some basic information on what you need to know about Rook, or what you would know, or what you will know, I guess.
Okay.
It operates on the laws of mad science, hence that kind of biopunk, biotech, and body modifications. Visually, like when you get there, try to picture kind of almost body horror, but like that sci-fi mad scientist body horror kind of thing, like lots of tubes and plates bolted on kind of thing. I imagine it's very dingy and dirty, kind of that cyberpunk feel. Based on what the estate's learned, is it's kind of between or what the estate's kind of done on its own research and what Uintaro's kind of filled in the blanks. It's hidden in the shadows of Earth, like we said, before Earth or before humanity even rose up. Uintaro's words would have been something to the effect of, "While you guys were still swinging in trees," kind of thing. The whole society of Rook is kind of built around these factions that operate kind of like a combination of religion, megacorp, and government all rolled into one. I imagine in something like the Roman Empire combined with modern China.
This is Shadowrun.
It's a Shadowrun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is
Picture
Gamora.
Shadow. Yeah.
Look at her Zon.
The all song is essentially, or rather, the true code is like the base almost religion of Rook, and it's just these old ancient tales kind of thing. It's a lot of ancient knowledge, and the all song is this the best equivalent to Earth or to our Earth would be the internet. But the internet on steroids, kind of like I mentioned before, it's very much almost like the Matrix. If you think Ready Player One, where there's a whole world just inside the all song, or a whole reality. But the all song functions almost like a hive mind, like a voluntary hive mind. So it very much has that, again, that kind of Matrix feel, but instead of just the computer making a simulation, you can transfer information back and forth. It's almost like the Matrix version of Wikipedia. Yeah. So that's what she would slide across to you to kind of give you cliff notes on what to expect. They don't have any operatives there, unfortunately. It's such a it's almost alien to our modern thinkings, just the way everything works, that it's hard to even get people established. So we don't have any agents, we don't have any fixers. You're there, you're pretty much on your own.
Wait.
And how do we know that the spiral comes from there? You've just sort of tracked it back.
Donna Ilsa told you that.
Ah, right. Okay.
And then between Donna Ilsa and Uintaro, you guys would have figured out that there's a business question mark called Whole Body Grafts.
Right. Okay.
They are going to give you, it's not right now, essentially what they're going to hand you is this big, like, they're going to hand you essentially the suitcase of cash and say, take this with you. It'll turn into some bits when you get there. You guys are each going to get 200 bits.
Nice.
Very
Each.
nice.
For conversion, I added a note on your inventory currency tab. 1 bit is like $35 US. Whatever that is in British money, Nate. There you go.
$35
I think that turns out to be like 25, 30
30.
pound.
Yeah,
but
give or
like,
take.
Whatever the exact currency conversion is right now, but
About right. It's not great. On the dollar side, anyway.
Okay. So you guys are gonna get 200 bits each, which again, between like the folder and all that stuff, you would know just that bit. They basically give you like $1,000 each and say, "Here you go. Consider petty cash while you're there." Kind of thing. Because the pricing charts on Rook are weird. Okay. You guys are gonna be able to get some rest. I imagine between Uintaro, the briefing, getting all geared up, that takes a few days. So we'll get you all rested up, get everybody reset.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh, see me. Translating over. Let's see. Everybody give me a flat D20.
Oh, blimey.
We're looking for the group average.
Hey.
Hey, that average is
Hey,
pretty average.
nice.
I'm
Yeah,
not mad at that average.
that's actually pretty good. I mean, on out of 10, that's pretty good.
Pretty
Considering like human ability is 1 through 6. Yeah.
good. We are skilled.
Yeah. Oh, I never built the thing for the root details. That's fine. Rook. Setting. There it is. Attributes. That's what I forgot to build into it. Rook is a level 4 world. And all that was just how smooth is the landing kind of thing.
Relatively.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rook.
Look at us. We're pros.
Ugh. Attributes. I've mentioned it before, like Cypher or the strange Cypher has this whole system on translating, and it depends on like what class you are and all this other stuff, and it's super complicated, and it's
And really, is that necessary?
no.
Considering it's like
It'd be
a stepping
different.
point.
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be different if we were counting all the way down to like each session is a day kind of thing.
Or
If we were
like,
going
hip-hopping across.
very much nitty gritty. Okay.
But since we translate like once every 5 sessions.
Yeah, you guys do tend to sit in a session for a while, or in a recursion for a while. That's the attributes to Rook. It's a level 4 world. Your laws of physics operate on mad science. Anybody you find is probably human, unless they are very obviously a robot. A ribbit. Don't worry about the foci. We already got those set. Skills. Everybody knows a little bit about Rook lore. We gave that to you. You know how to use the All Song navigation. Like, do you know how to Google? You know, use Wikipedia. That's All Song navigation. The main points is how is it connected to the strange? How is it connected to Earth? how big is it? Spark is how many people or how much of the population is quickened, like you guys, or like the
Oh
party.
wow,
Yeah,
100%.
almost.
Yeet.
Uh huh. Well, I mean, they've existed before people, so Earth is actually about the same. It's very. I want to say Earth is like 60-70%.
Hmm.
That's way more common than I thought it was.
Well, having the spark and actually realizing it are two different things.
You don't feel as special anymore.
You guys all have the spark, but you're also awakened. Like 3/4 of Earth has the spark, but most of them aren't awakened. I could be completely wrong and have that totally backwards because I don't have the Earth attributes up right now.
It is not important right this second.
Yeah, exactly. The main thing, the final thing though, is that means that since so much of Rook is or it has the spark, they're going to be able to recognize if something is not native. They're going to be. It's easier for them to recognize it for any number of reasons. It could just be that simple. It's like something's not right here. Just that little back of the mind tickle, or it could be like you guys come in, you still have your Earth accent that stands out, or something like that.
Hello, yes, I am Rookian. I
Yes.
too like the biopunk.
Yes, I am Rookian, and it turns out like they don't call themselves that. It's like,
Hello, fellow Rookians.
yeah.
Is
We're
this
just
the
avataring
skate
Hotman.
Turns out they actually call themselves Rook Knights.
Eh?
Or just Rooks. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get over to here. Let me find this one. Not that one. Rook. There we go. Of all things, that image very much gives me Dark City vibes. The old or the old 90s movie just prior to Matrix.
You're talking before me.
Okay, I'm the only one that remembers that movie. Got it. Okay.
I have a vague memory of it, but I'm sure I saw it. But
Picture the Matrix, but instead of computers controlling everything, it's aliens, and also bring the movie budget down to this almost low budget movie.
yeah, like I swear I must have seen it. I don't know, in college or something.
I think it actually has a
One of those kind of
better
movies.
story than Matrix, but that's me. So, yeah. That's just me. Okay. Getting all so you guys are gonna get a landing room, get all settled. Uintaro actually has essentially not a safe house, but kind of like this apartment that you'll be able to get all settled in. You get set up. Strange dark spiral. There it is. What am I looking for? Asking around. If you guys were to ask around at all, like, hey, where can I find whole body graphs, like that? You guys know of it, but not a ton about it. Translating. It can be something simple as like, once you guys plug in, you can simply ask, like, hey, how do I find whole body graphs? And the Allsong will tell you. It'll give you like GPS navigation. Turn here, turn here, turn here, and it will bring you to what is essentially it's this humongous tower. I mean, this building is this puts most skyscrapers on Earth to shame. This building is 200 stories, 200 floors, plus a roof. Whole body grafts occupies the top 10 floors of this building. This is Semiramis Tower. Focus on that for a second. You can even get essentially a basic breakdown on most of the floors. The lower 188 floors are a mix of apartments and small businesses. Here and there's some office buildings, probably a couple buildings that have like 1 or 2 floors. Whole Body Grafts has the top 10 floors of this building.
Business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would imagine that whole body grafts and grafts of various kinds are quite popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had to look that up, and that is 37 more floors than the world's tallest building.
Is it? Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
So this dwarfs every skyscraper in the world.
Yeah, the Burj Khalifa is only 163.
There we go.
Well,
Huh.
plus 1 basement. Oh yeah,
Great
that
folks
tall.
on Earth.
So
Is
you know
there
where
any
the... Sorry, go ahead.
Is there any information on who runs whole body grafts?
That you're not finding. It's like when you try to find, like, okay, who owns Whole Body Grafts? Who runs it? It kind of kicks back almost an error. Essentially, like if you've ever asked a smart speaker a question and it comes back like, I don't understand. That's essentially what the all song is going to give you. I don't understand the question.
Is the all song a commercial thing, or is it just like a, I don't want to say natural, but like, does someone manage the all song?
The all song is, it's not sentient, but it's kind of, think of, I gave the analogy of like Google meets Wikipedia before, and it's very much that. There's no one person overseeing it. It's kind of the collective knowledge of everyone who is ever connected to it.
But if someone were powerful enough, they could basically make sure that information doesn't show up there. Like, I'm trying to figure out if this like lack of information about who owns it is like a manipulated thing, or just the knowledge is hidden from pretty much everyone, or that sort of thing.
Is it because we're foreigners and it knows?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Give me an intelligence check.
Oops. Hold on. Have to get through the cool pictures. So if I have 4 edge now, do I have to add that? Let me see if I can put this right. If I add like 1 effort and edit the edge that's in, at the bottom left corner of the screen, does that then calculate it properly?
It should.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, if you set it to like 1-4 or whatever effort you want to put in, it
Yeah.
should.
Okay,
Famous
so
last
let's try
words.
that.
You
Not
also
if
have
you roll terribly, but but
well,
it still comes out a 4.
it's
so
still a
that's
tier 4.
something.
See,
Yeah.
because you also have armor on, which does weird stuff to effort. And, yeah,
Yeah.
so tier 4. Okay. So, and Melody, you're gonna kind of poke around a little bit, and at least on the surface, like without knowing like every little business and corporation and all that stuff in Rogue, like you'll ask about like the various almost gangs essentially. I imagine the almost like the Yakuza kind of thing, where they control so much, they have so much influence. Asking about the various different organizations, yeah, you can find pretty much who the head of most like the big organizations are. And you don't know every little business, so you can't check every spot. So it's not like the system is completely blocking your knowledge of this. It's not so much like Rusty was saying, it's like the system recognizes that you're alien to this world or anything. It's just not listed.
Okay.
But at least on a service check of the All Song, you don't find anything that jumps out that says like, "Hey, there's this other big corporation that has no head listed." Or if you ask about other places that do, the fact that the system kicks back essentially the way it does is strange.
Roll credits.
Ha.
We're gonna die, but that's okay.
Like you might find like if you like have a typo or like you put the wrong word in, you can get the system to do the same thing. But everything was worded right. You didn't see any problems in the questions like, "Hey, who runs this place?" I don't understand. What do you mean?
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
The only other places you find that have that are like there's no owner listed, but the place like the business is called like Bob's Ramen House.
like we're gonna assume Bob
Who
is
runs it?
probably the
I
one.
don't know. I don't understand.
Bob?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like, if the answer is obvious, then yeah, because like I don't. What do you mean?
Like, come on.
Well,
But the fact
I
that it
guess
kicks it
we'll
back
have to
for
do-
this is
yeah.
yeah.
guess we'll have to either do more digging or just go and find out. My guess
Because
is a spooky guy with sapphires for eyes, but I could be wrong.
because this is the network of known knowledge.
Mhm.
Um,
What other questions do you have for the great and powerful All Song?
yeah, I'm wondering if I can use my mind reading abilities to kind of dig deeper past whatever, because this isn't really striking me as this information doesn't exist or it was deleted. It feels like it's been walled off, and
Hmm.
I'd like to see if my particular abilities can kind of shove some of that to the side to try and get at the information we're looking for.
I was thinking about that, like as you started talking, and I the best comparison I can get to that I can think of for your abilities, I don't think they would work only because I picture your abilities operating more like a local Wi-Fi or like uh, the Starbucks hotspot,
Ugh.
Okay.
where
that makes
you
sense.
can kind of tap into everybody around you. You can get a little bit of what they're doing, but this is more like if I was to go to the library and log into Google. Unless you happen to be standing right over my shoulder, you probably don't know what I'm looking at on Google.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would more have to have a direct connection instead of
Yeah.
how movies portray hacking.
Yeah. You can't just go, and I'm in. Okay.
Yeah,
That's not how hacking works.
yeah,
It
that makes
doesn't.
So
sense.
could I use one of my machine skills, like I don't know, machine affinity or something?
There we go. Like Imelda, see, here's the difference. Like Imelda is much more geared towards the all song, where Vander is much more local Wi-Fi. So you guys do have similar abilities as different foci.
Yeah, so that just gives me hold on. So if I look at where was it? Machine affinity.
Mhm.
Just makes me trained in tasks involving electrical machines, presumably like hacking or trying to figure out um I don't know, is the all song isn't a machine technically though, is it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, and just meta-wise, since you guys are really focused on like that missing information. Yeah, Imelda passed. It's just like the
Yeah, so
information is not there.
it's just not there. Okay.
Yeah.
That I was starting to get at that, but okay. Well,
Which is interesting, considering like this is supposedly the source of all known knowledge in this world.
Mm-hmm.
right. And that this place is so big that it takes up 10 floors of
Mm-hmm.
an enormous building.
Yeah.
It almost
So
suggests like even the
if people
person,
don't know the owner, it's because the owner doesn't want to be known.
or
Yeah.
isn't connected to the system at all.
Conceivably,
Also a
yeah.
possibility. Let me
Since
get
this is all known
another-
knowledge, they would know who they are.
Let me get another image for you guys, so you can kind of get a sense of how big Rook is, because like the overall knowledge was there, but you guys are in the city of Harmonious.
I get the
Images.
impression that's a massive misnomer.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, in the sense of how the world works, it is very much like, oh, uh-huh. This is like going to the hellscape city called, I don't know, Deliverance.
Yeah.
There we go. So,
And
that gives you an idea how big Rook is. Don't stretch out that map or zoom in too much. It's not exactly a high-res map. I just pulled it out of the PDF. So.
It's pretty though. Again,
yeah.
getting mad Kimura vibes.
Uh-huh. But it gives you an idea. So Harmonious is very much in the center of Rook. And it's kind of like the one spot where, think of it like there's no one faction or organization that runs Rook. It's kind of that, not no man's land, but like a DMZ. They all agree, it's like, okay, nobody's gonna take charge, and this is entirely business in Rook. But that gives you an idea of the entire world of Rook. You're inside of a city. You know where Samaramis Tower is. I want to add a T in there somewhere.
It's over there. You can see it there. It's on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Tall building.
I mean, actually, yeah.
Left foot there. I'm assuming it's one of the tallest buildings, if not the
Yeah,
tallest. But there is.
I
one
would
that
say
looks
probably one of the
very
buildings
big.
that going up off the top of the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. More specifically, like in the dead center, there is one that looks remarkably like it.
Mm-hmm.
Near enough.
Sure. So, yeah. Now here's a cool thing on Rook is if you guys want to modify your bodies, you can find almost like it sounds horrible. You can find chop shops depending on how much you want to spend. If you can go to whole body grafts, but they are very much like the West End, Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive, Plastic Surgeon. They are the top of the line, but you pay the premium for it. Or you can go downtown to the back alleys and hit the chop shops and get it dimes for dollars.
Frank's Part Pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's basically a dude with a grinder and a sawzall and a barber's chair in the basement.
Well, I guess it depends on,
Depends on what you want
whether-
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably has some pieces that could fit you.
And this is also one of those like asking around. If you were to go to like whole grafts, you could get essentially a whole body swap for 200 bits. Where it would almost be like a head transplant kind of thing. depending on the type of body you wanted. Like if you want like if you would just want to go to like I want something that looks super awesome and like just a supermodel but doesn't have a lot of features. Yeah, 200 bits. If you want to go to like cutting edge, walking armory, military grade, you're probably looking like 400 to 500 bits. You guys don't necessarily have that much money.
So if you did something like that and then translated back to Earth, what
You'd
would
still have your
happen?
Earth body.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Your anything you carry on you might adjust a little bit. Excuse me. But like a whole body swap, probably not going to change.
Well, shall we go check it out?
Crickets.
Do we have a plan? Like, I'm all for just nosing around, but that sounds dangerous without a plan.
Well, I mean,
Even for us.
We can just go see the front of the building, see if there's any guards posted outside or
yeah, I mean,
anything
it's
like
in
that.
this
Staff.
giant building. Presumably, there are some public places or whatever there, right? I mean,
Oh, sorry, I also forgot. As you look up like whole body mods, you do start to get essentially pop-ups.
Motherfucker.
of course.
I was loving this place and now I hate it.
Well, they've been around for longer than humanity. They've been around for at least 7,000 years. Sorry. No. Okay, I'll stop. No.
Yes, pop-ups have been around since the dawn of time.
Oh yeah.
Fucking feels like it. But aye, the plan is to just scope out the place.
Yeah, and if we see anybody looks like they work there or a guard, a receptionist, or whoever, I can. Yeah, I think I can read their minds.
Nice.
See if there's anything rattling around in there that might be useful.
Question, what am I thinking?
Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and take the action to establish a telepathic link with Rusty.
Okay.
He's thinking about having a bourbon, specifically with the party after this.
I pictured weapons porn, but that too. Yeah.
Uh, he
Yeah,
is
okay,
a
that tracks.
gentleman.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that tracks. I'm not. I'm a little more of just a plain whiskey guy, but I could go.
Holy
for
shit,
bourbon.
it works.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Like I
And,
normally like
I'll-
Scotch too, but it's, America. I've gone native.
Yeah, and I'll go around the horn and establish those contacts with each member of the party. And I'll expend some effort too to make it last the 24 hours, just so it's a little easier should we be separated. I think
Oh, no, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Question, does that link us to you, or does that link us all together?
it's to me, but let me double check.
You said which one? Telepathic?
Yes.
Telepathic is a two-way connection.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's
you,
two-way
you have just
between-
become our air traffic controller.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think I've established a group chat for everyone, but yeah, it's two ways
That's fine.
between me and.
Yeah,
the contact.
just to fast forward through all of that, I would say that with Vander, as long as you guys are within whatever the range for telepathic is, you essentially have like a mental group chat.
Nice.
Does it say what it is? I'm looking at it now. I don't see a range. Oh, short range. There it is. Okay. So yeah, as long as you're within short range, was it like 50 feet? You guys essentially have a mental group chat. You have WhatsApp in your head.
Cool. We can control
Or
what we
Discord.
send, right?
There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not.
we're not
It's not
sharing
always on voice. Yeah.
Yeah, the mind reading isn't a part of that. That's a separate thing. Like I have to actively focus on something else.
I say you're not on mute. You're not on mute. You're not on mute.
I've been playing around trying to get priority speaker on voice activated, and I can't figure it out quite yet on Discord. But okay, it's not much of a problem in this group.
Yeah. We are semi-sensible.
Well, we've all played together long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with that established, I think Vander would be all set to
Okay.
head that way.
Vander, give me a. Well, I guess how long do you guys want to sit outside? Like Vander, you mentioned kind of checking on people coming and going, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd like
How long
to
do you guys
see-
do that?
I figure 10 minutes, maybe 20.
10 or 20
to
minutes?
see if we could spot like uniforms of people that work there or something like that.
Give me a flat 220.
Okay.
Three. Okay. So, Vander, I mean, you're gonna get using like telepathic and your mind reading stuff like that. You'll get kind of those surface thoughts because you're trying not to draw attention. Is a lot of people mostly just kind of going and coming to work. You will see that people coming in and out of the building, or at least employees, people that work there, have rings that are color coded. Think of them like ID badges. The elevator in the building will actually connect to those rings and give access to certain areas. There's 3 different colors. Let me double check which ones they are. I want to say white, green, and red. We're going to go with that because I'm pretty sure that's right. White, green, and red. White's the very basic level. 95% of the people coming and going into this building have white rings. And they're just little simple rings that they wear on the hand. That's it. They give a little just ever so slight glow, just enough that you can kind of spot it in the dark. It maybe. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, color coded rings. White's the least secure, red's the most secure. If you're in an area that you shouldn't be, you either have to, or well, not an area you shouldn't be. If you are in an area, you either have to have that ring or be escorted by somebody who does. But yeah, white rings are the least secure, red rings are the most secure, and then green's kind of like that middle to high. Only a very few trusted people actually have a red ring. I would say in like 10, 15 minutes, you don't see anybody that has one. You only know about them because like there's just that surface thought like, hey, the boss has a red ring kind of thing, or Steve got promoted and now has a red ring.
Mm.
Damn it, Steve.
So is this to get into the building at all?
To
Or
get
to get
anywhere
to the
past like the
floor-
first few floors,
Okay.
you're looking for a red ring. Like even as a or at the very least a green ring. To have a ring at all, to get past the first few floors, like you can probably get into without a ring. You know you can get to the first, I'd say 189 to 192. So the first 3-4 floors you can get to with no ring, because those are mostly like the parking garage is 189, 190, and the showroom is 191, 192. If you go past that, people start asking questions. And if you go too far past that, they just start flat out attacking or arresting. The farther you go, the more severe kind of thing. Now, as you saw on the tower map, there's an aerial garage because there's flying cars and living ships and things like that. So there is a garage like you can pull in and park at 189, 190. There's also the roof. You guys would know between Imelda doing a deep dive and kind of the party just kind of like looking around and things like that. This place has aerial defenses. So like a rooftop assault, there's turrets up there. Just so you know.
So
You don't have fine details about what's up there, but you would know that higher buildings and like faction controlled buildings, things like that, have defenses. And this one's no different.
Which tells us that there's definitely something going on here.
There's something
Because-
with influence.
Yeah.
Am I getting any information about where people get those rings? Like, is it
Mostly
are
employees.
they handed out on? Sorry.
Mostly employees. It's relatively easy to get like a white ring. Those are super easy, pretty super easy to get. Like almost that Ocean's 11. You could dress as like the cleaning crew and come in. It's like, hey, we were contracted to do cleaning on such and such, and they would probably give you a white ring, depending on as long as it's not like a restricted floor kind of thing.
So that would be at like reception or something where you get the rings.
Yeah, reception or ground floor security kind of thing. Yeah.
And it's not just the white rings that they give there based on who you are. It's also where the people with the red rings get those red rings.
Oh no! Like people that actually legitimately work here always have their rings. The white rings function both as employee pass and like visitor pass.
Sure,
Yeah, so
but
they're like
when they
if you
first
go to a
get-
building and you get like a paper
Mhm.
day pass or whatever kind
Mhm.
of thing, right?
I think
Right,
what
but-
Nick's trying to ask is where could we hypothetically break in and potentially steal one from? Is there like this is where the staff get officially assigned their ring?
So
Yeah, like
so this
when the
is
person with the red ring first ever gets their red ring, where do they go?
I'm gonna say it because you didn't tap anybody that actually had a red ring. You're not gonna get that information about where to get a red ring.
so and they're physically distinct, right? Like there's no way, say electronically, that you could convert one kind of ring into another.
Without knowing the code or without knowing essentially details of it. Without knowing more than surface details of it, it'd be extremely difficult. You could guess at it.
Okay.
I would say the most that Vander would have connected to, just because of the rarity, is you might have connected to somebody with like a green ring. If a red ring is level 1, and the lower you are, or the higher the number, the lower the level, kind of thing. A white ring is, sorry, let me flip it around. A white ring is level 1, since we do tier 10 difficulty. White ring is level 1, or tier 1. Red ring is tier 10. I'd say the most Vander probably connected to is like a tier 7, tier 8. So you probably tapped into a green ring. Or
Okay.
tapped into somebody wearing a green ring. So you would have figured out where those guys get one. And it'd be one of those like, they go through security, the white ring, they go up to HR, get their green ring, that kind of thing. And they can get it if they're super lucky same day, if they get there bright and early in the morning kind of thing. But I don't
So
think you would tap into somebody with a red ring.
So do we know what the mechanism is that's detecting these rings? So, for example, like, if you have like a swipe card or something, there's the card, but
Mhm.
then there's also the swipe device
Hmm.
that you like hold it up to, or like, can we see what those things are? Like the thing that's reading their ring?
Have you ever seen like, well, like you mentioned, like the card readers on the door? They're whatever color they are. Those little kind of black gray. Those pads like you stick
Yeah,
your card up
yeah.
to. The RFID readers. That's what they are. It'd be something like that. It'd be one of those like as you approach a door, there might be a little scanner that kind of checks the door or checks people approaching the door. It says, "Oh, there's somebody that's got a red ring. Somebody's got a green ring." Okay, and it just opens the door for that group of people.
Okay, so I'm gonna say to Vander, if we could get white rings and go through one of those scanner things, I might be able to figure out how to disable them so that we can just keep passing through them. Because I'm thinking about either distant interface, which allows me to control things at range. But if I haven't interacted with it, it becomes a lot harder. So I'd prefer to like at least try to figure out how it works. And then if we can get higher up in the building, maybe we can steal or con or something our way to a red ring. Like rather than having to go like white to green to red, if we could just go white to red.
I see what you're saying. Do you think there's a way you can lie to the reader? Make it think a white ring is a red one?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. But like without ever having interacted with it before, I get the sense that it would be 2 steps harder to do than it would be if I had some experience. But yeah, like I might be able, I'm not sure, but I could, I guess first we have to find out if these things are intelligent because I can't use the skill if the thing is either intelligent itself or is connected. Like if there is some human or AI or something in the background, then it wouldn't work. But then I could use my, you know, was it manipulate machines? What is it called? There's
Just fell up the stairs.
It sounded like a puppy eating shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like jingle, jingle, jingle. Boom.
yeah, so like if it were intelligent that I could try command machine or something, but that we're kind of screwed once the effect wears off because then the machine knows that you screwed with it.
Mhm.
But, for a like one time get from here to there, it's a definite possibility.
Do you reckon you have to be the one to specifically do it? Or witnessing someone do it at close range, would that be enough?
Well, I just have to be able to it just says blah, 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 let's see. That's command, which is the one I was looking at. I must understand the function of the machine. It's my size or smaller, which is no problem. It says if you have never interacted with the machine before, the task is hindered by 2 steps. So
Something minus
I
6.
think I personally have to have had some experience of it to be able to sort of probe it out and figure out how it works.
Yeah.
Like
So-
lock picking, sort of, like you
Yeah.
need to know how the thing works in order to break it.
Aye. So just us going in and taking a look at the body shop, as it were. You wouldn't be able to watch someone coming and going from the doors.
Well, yeah, like if we went through the door wearing the white rings, I might be able to figure out, like in general at least, how the thing works. Like, is it connected to an intelligence? Is it a standalone thing? Is it one of those things that fails open or closed? Like that I might be able to figure out if we are able to at least pass through it, and then I can watch other people maybe passing through it.
Because didn't we just find out that it's limited access?
Mhm.
But like, I mean, not limited access. That the why am I struggling with words all of a sudden?
I don't know. You're
Um,
tired?
yes, very yes. But didn't we just find out specifically that the showroom, as it were, is open to the public?
Yeah.
Right. So that I think we can get white rings and go through. That's what I'm saying is
Oh,
that if
yeah.
we can do that,
Oh, you require white
then
rings.
I
Okay.
can learn something about it, and maybe we can skip from having to go, like white to figuring out some way to con ourselves into a green, to con ourselves into a red, like to
Yeah.
maybe be able to get through that faster.
Yeah.
So
I
I
was
guess
Or
just worried.
something to run by
frankly,
it.
maybe if we can get even onto a showroom, we have a better likelihood of seeing someone who has a red ring that Vander could scope out or I could watch or whatever.
Yeah, sorry, that was Nate being confused. Nate thinking that since it's open to the public, no ring was required to get to the showroom.
Oh,
I mean, you could get a white ring, and it's just like a time delay. Like after a certain amount of time, it just stops being a color.
Hey,
So I get-
maybe that'd be it then.
So I got something to run by you. You need direct interaction with this thingamajig. I can hop into somebody's brain space, see through their eyes, hear through their ears, smell through their nose, everything. If I did that to somebody using that, and we got the telepathic link, do you think that would count?
I don't know, because if it counts as me having experienced the interaction, then maybe. That would depend on a wise and benevolent, all-seeing, master of games or something who would be able to tell us that.
If the eyes above grant it, I would say probably it'd be Imelda would almost have to have the share senses ability that Vander has.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
trying to use the white ones, maybe in combination with what Vander knows.
Mhm.
Maybe could be enough.
I don't think. I'm thinking that Vander doing shared senses and then combining that with telepathy. I almost said telekinesis. I don't think that would quite be enough. It'd be
Well, no,
enough
I
to
mean,
give
we
Imelda like an asset on a check, but not enough to like let her get like a direct connection
well,
kind
so
of thing.
yeah, so here's my thinking. If we get white passes to go to the showroom or whatever it is, and then Vander can find someone who has a green or even better, a red, to see if their experience is any different, would that be enough? Like, so that way I have directly used it at at kind of the lightest level. And then we're using that additional step to figure out whether um, the people who have higher levels, whether that check or whatever it is the thing is doing is any checks for anything other essentially than the ring that you have, right? Like, is it the ring or is it, something else? Because then it's just a matter of physically getting a ring. But
So it's very much so. It's kind of a. It's gonna be if I'm understanding this right, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's gonna be kind of a group effort of Vander mentally follows an individual to see, okay, is it the person or is it the ring that checks the door? And then the door opens, the person goes in, or the group goes in.
well, so sort of like we get white rings, we go to the showroom.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we're in that slightly less public space,
Mm-hmm.
Vander looks for someone who hopefully has a red, but more likely has a green ring,
Mm-hmm.
and watches them pass through a doorway to
Okay.
maybe a more secure area,
Okay.
and sort of
So
compares that to what we experienced when we came into the
so it's
showroom.
so again, it's that group effort of vendor checking. Okay, how does this system work? Okay, it does this, and then relaying or combined with Imelda. Okay, here's white came through here, green came through here. What's the difference? Imelda makes the check on the difference, kind of thing,
Right, right.
or knowledge on the difference, kind of thing. Okay. Hmm. Because I think 90% of this building is probably white rings, and that's going to be visitors and low level staff, maybe like lower management, at best like bottom of middle management kind of thing. Green rings, you're looking pretty solidly middle management. Red rings are going to be your upper executives, your chief researchers, that kind of thing. Let's say, Vander, give me a flat D10. D10.
Okay.
How many green rings do you come across while you guys are looking? 5. Okay. 5. Imelda, give me. 5 people. Give me a D20 with a +6. You can do a +5 and I'll just add 1 to it if it's okay. That works too. +6, 4. Okay. And you're looking for essentially how does this thing check the doors kind of thing, or how does it check people coming through?
Yeah, like
Okay.
like is the check for green people any like functionally different from what the check is for the white ring people? Because basically my goal
4.
in this is to figure out, are we just going to need to steal or make or something a ring of the appropriate level, or is there other stuff we're going to need to do?
Okay, so with the tier 4 check, you're gonna figure out that essentially, because you guys, we'll say you've made it up into 181, 182, kind of into that showroom area. Okay. Essentially, between white and green, the check's pretty much the same. It's almost like it's almost a security check or a controlled access check. It just checks, hey, do you have a ring? Yes. There's like that 2 layers. Like motion, okay, turn on the check. Okay. Check turns on. Check says white, green, red. Green, okay. Lets you through.
Okay.
Looks like it wouldn't be too tough. I mean, you're looking at a tier 3, maybe tier 4 to forge a green ring.
Okay.
At
Well,
least
I'll
from like looking from like 192, you're looking like probably a tier 4 to forge a green ring. Just to forge it. It's stealing it. That's a whole other thing.
Right. And it only takes one person with the right level ring to get through
Correct.
a doorway, right? So as long as
Yeah.
one of them has the right level ring.
Yeah, and I imagine as a group, you guys are kind of keeping an eye on it. You've got the 4 people plus Imelda's robot companion,
Yeah.
which I imagine kind of looks like Chappie.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing Chappie for machine companion.
See, I was thinking Johnny, was it Johnny?
Johnny 5? Yeah,
Yeah.
Johnny 5.
Number
I only
5,
remember
number
Chappie because I
5.
saw that more recently. I think I actually saw Short Circuit 1 and 2 maybe a month earlier than that. No, they bought it.
They're good
I
films.
am-
They hold up.
They're not bad. Yeah, they're not bad films, especially for the target audience. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you're looking. It'd be tough. I mean, it'd be difficult to demanding. So tier 4, tier 3 to forge a green ring. Not impossible, but it's a challenge. Like making a good fake ID.
Hmm. So here's the question. Does it make more sense to do that or simply con someone into taking us to the green area and then working our way up from there?
Con or threatening.
Or threaten?
I imagine that would come up in the group.
Yeah.
If given the choice, I'd rather not threaten them or draw attention to ourselves. If we can just walk through the door where no one questions it, that would be better. Probably.
Yeah. It's the not questioning it part. Like, I sort of feel like the mechanical part of it, either we can do it or we can't. But once we're in those higher tier areas, are we just going to stand out? Like, are people just going to know that we don't belong there? And like, then having gotten through the door does nothing for us?
Oh, that's easy. We just tell, and there's going to be a pause as he kind of taps against the side of his head and gets a pop up away from his field of view.
Thank
that's
you.
Oh yeah. We just tell them we're exterminators.
I had to add that in there. It's pop up. I imagine that's been like every few minutes, especially for Imelda, it's like every 30 seconds or so. It's like, God damn it. Boop. I'm going to try to do that every so often.
Yeah, and if somebody asks us, "How are you an exterminator? Where is your pesticide and whatnot?" And I just point to Rusty and Ian right over there, and I see the hardware packing on them. We're exterminators.
Rusty just
Heavy
whips out from his rifle.
rifles. What
It's
are
a
you
big game around
exterminating?
these
Large
parts.
rats? I mean,
Exactly.
those are
Because
usually
you
in the
have to imagine-
basement.
Yeah, you have to imagine in a hell place like this, there are some really big ass roaches and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. A thought. A potentially funny thought. Let's see what this does. Please fucking know I do not like rats. Don't give me those ideas.
I ain't gotta be rats, you can be big old bugs.
That's not helping.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be harder to sell it if the second somebody says rat, you start running away. You're like,
I'm not
what
gonna
else
run
is there?
away.
Oh,
Like
wait,
pigeons?
and I also have that. What is that? I have a skill for that. Demeanor of command. That's the one where people believe that like I'm supposed to be where I am, you know.
There
Right.
you go.
I mean, that works
Convenient.
great for people. The only issue with that is actually the sensors getting through the doors onto the floors. You
Well,
will
so,
find,
but the
I will
sensors
say,
is the remote distance interface.
right.
Like, and then demeanor of command is for people. I knew that I had picked all of these skills for a reason.
Yeah,
It
and that's the
all
thing
makes
I'll
sense.
say is that it is very much a you will see that there is that difference between it's pretty much just the sensor getting onto the floor at least for white and green.
Yeah, red is going to be a different thing. So
Yeah, you guys haven't come across red really at all yet. But at least for white and green and whatever levels there might be in between there, those are the major tiers. Is
Yeah,
between
so-
white to green, it's pretty much an elevator check. Can we make it past the door? Okay, yeah, we're good.
So quick confab. Are we just gonna dungeon this? Like we're just gonna go floor by floor until we get to where we need to be? Like it is this it? Like sort of being meta, right? Like
Right.
are we is this us getting to the place where we're gonna figure out how the spiral is being made? Like
Well, I can't tell you
you know,
that. That's just
Metallica said we had
easy.
to go here. Said we go through every floor until we find the blue-eyed bastard, or something
okay.
leads us to him.
Yeah, that's what I
Mhm.
just wanted to confirm. So we're not like this is not, recon and we'll go come back later. No, this is it. We're just gonna power through.
Breach and
I
clear, breach and
mean,
clear.
well, I am basing everything off the fact that Vander said he's only spending about like that 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes watching people come into the door. If you guys spend longer on watching the door, maybe you find a red ring. I don't know.
Well,
I
okay.
think
So
we'll find
how
a
about
red
this?
ring in the whole body graphs, and we can take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to get at least to the showroom, and then
Yeah,
I'm looking at the tower now. Either one of us goes in for surgery and we get up that way,
an option.
or we somehow get to R&D
I have a whole
and then there's
chart in case you
maintenance
guys want to go
for
to
yeah.
if you guys want to go to the showroom and actually buy something, I've got a whole chart for that. I've got different tables, multiple tables if you guys want to go to the shop. If you guys want to go to the showroom, I am ready.
Yeah, like that was one of my thoughts was if we go to the showroom, then we can at least like pump people for information, at least under the guise of buying something, whether we actually buy it or not.
I'll
We
even
have
give you.
money, so we
I'll
could.
give the group this, so you can kind of see how and like the tower layout by floor is pretty much what you would find on the Awesome. You could even find somebody that would escort you to the surgical theaters. You could make it to 194 without, like, quote unquote, hacking anyone.
Yeah, see, I sort of feel like R&D would be my first real, like, non-public area that I'd be
Right.
interested in.
Yeah.
So if we get to surgical, then maybe getting to R&D wouldn't be that hard.
And to break it down, it'd be 190 up to 190. You guys can pretty much get unfettered access. 191, 192, like there might be a few offices, things like that, where you guys can't get into. 193, 194, you've got access to a very limited space where it's like white rings can come in here, they can take a right, they can take a left. Here's the viewing chamber. That's it.
Mhm.
And then you would see like green can get to the rest of 194. And if you were to try to get past 194, it just says white rings no.
But would green rings be able to get to like 195, 196?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Getting past 194, you're looking like level 2, level 3 rings minimum. Like I said, white rings, you're looking like level 1, green rings level 5, red rings level 10. I don't know. Sure.
Okay. So how about this?
So you can
Go
get
to the
very
showroom.
limited access, extremely limited access to 193, 194. Like you can
So
see how, like, if like, hey, I want to buy this thing on the storeroom. How does it apply? Because I've only seen the shops, and they would take you up to the showrooms. They'd show you the viewing rooms, and you get to see this extra clean room. Um, they'd show you like from the viewing area. Um, uh, essentially like there's the waiting rooms, there's the upstairs, so you can kind of see like when somebody comes in, you could see the exact procedures that happens for any given implant or modification, all of which are uh, this level of gruesome. Let me see. On a level of 1 to 10, 10 being like, oh my god, so much blood and vomit buckets next to each chair. 1 being like, oh yeah, that's not bad. That's like a little 2-inch slit. Uh, this starts at level 5, by the way.
Oh,
5. 1 being like, oh yeah, that's like a little tiny 2-inch incision. This starts at a 5.
Okay.
But for Rook, that's a Rook.
Slow.
An Earth level 5 is a Rook level 1.
That makes sense.
Where an Earth 10 is like, no, you just killed somebody on Rook. A Rook level 5 on Earth is a level 10. Is, oh my god, I just cut his head off, kind of thing. And it took multiple strokes.
Mm.
Rusty will gesture at his current appendage and just go, we could very easily blag that I'm looking for another upgrade. Because this thing, and he'll just wave it at the party. It looks
Yeah,
like a body mod to me.
I imagine that Rusty's arm graft, like on Earth, looks like they have taken the most advanced prosthetic and like grafted it onto his ribs somehow. Yeah. But
On
on
the
Rook,
party.
it's like, oh yeah, you got a third arm. Okay, yeah, congratulations. This dude looks like Goro.
Yeah.
With 2 heads. Come back later.
Yeah. Rusty was like, we could blag that we are looking for more. Have a proper look around the showroom. Maybe we're looking for an upgrade on the legs, new knees. Give us something that'll allow us to move.
Mm.
Or maybe another arm for ye. Point at that Vander.
Hey, two's fine for me. Always has been. Always will be.
You never thought about picking pockets with one of these?
I'd had to relearn the whole thing. It takes time. But I'm wondering if we go in as customers,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna have a certain idea about us. But if we go in as professionals, like exterminators, I don't think we can pass ourselves off as a cleaning crew right now. There's a matter of equipment that we're currently carrying. If we're professionals, we're perceived as professionals, they'll have a different idea about us. They'll ask fewer questions if we're in places where we might not supposed to be.
Hmm. Yeah, but being customers might allow us to pump them for more information. I'm not
If we're talking
disagreeing.
just
Like
scouting,
I like the exterminator type idea too, but do we need more information is my question.
Well,
And will we get it as the exterminators?
Exterminators got to ask plenty of questions like, where's the rats? How long has this been going on? Do you think it's on any of the other floors? Will you take me up there so I can check it out, see there hasn't been any internal damage or structural damage? Because if there's been structural damage, that's a whole thing. We got to bring in more crews. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, yeah.
aye.
Let's take a quick break while you guys figure out what you want to do. Hit the bathroom, do all that stuff. We'll come back, okay?
Aye.
All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There is
Okay.
no such thing as a bad plan, only a plan implemented poorly. As per the dice, I have been adjusting my mic volume on the stream, at least, steadily over the session. So, because thank you, Windows Update. Thank you. Okay, so back to the game. We have a plan, right?
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. If I recall correctly, Cliff Notes of the plan was it dress up as, was it like self disguise as maintenance cleaning crew kind of thing, or was it wait for a cleaning crew, maintenance crew, whatever, and hijack them? Was it self disguise or was it hijack?
I
was
think we're
hadn't
going the
considered-
self-disguise route because we talked about not wanting to cause too much of a ruckus before we went in.
Yeah.
Self disguise. Okay. And what floor are we trying to get to? Because you guys know you can get into surgical theaters, or at least, like, I would say probably you can get into the visitor section of surgical theater. So you're looking at like 25% of surgical theater. You can get in to kind of see it, but you don't really have access to it.
I'm saying R&D. Like the thing we discussed is exterminators, but also there was a release of lab animals from a nearby building.
Mm.
And so, we don't want them contaminating the fine research of the folks at whole body modifications or whatever this thing is called. Whole body grafts.
Whole body grafts.
The thing there with
I'm gonna
going
send you.
directly to R&D, because something tells me they do not have a reception area.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm guessing not. No.
Yeah, someplace we would have to present ourselves and spin our yarn.
Oh, I'm
saying we
also
need
gonna
to get to those
send you
places.
guys this, just not necessarily as like a pop up, but this is actually like a meta thing that you guys would know, or at least asking, like the receptionist or the salesperson or whatever. You guys would know about the body PCs buying body grafts.
Okay.
And this is also one of those, like, I imagine there's the initial, you guys are kind of coming in, checking things out. Okay, how I like, you guys come in, there's a group of 4. There's 1 or 2 of you guys are up at the desk, like, hey, these are our friends, and probably Vander's in the back. Okay, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Kind of doing the surface scan kind of thing, trying to stay hidden. But you guys would figure out, like, if you want to do modifications, here's how you would get the rest of the surgical floor.
Oh, would be to actually have the work done.
Well, yeah, I mean, right off the bat, like anybody walking in, like, well, yeah, if we want to get the access to the rest of, or at least a majority of the surgical floor, get work done, you're gonna go in there as a patient. Yeah, you picture that like green +2. If green is a 0, or sorry, not green +2, white +2. So you're looking again on that 0 to 10. You're looking like a tier 2. You can make it in as a patient pretty easily. Usually you're on a gurney. If a green is a 5, red is a 10, white is a 0 to 1. Since it's like visitors and VIP get white. Visitors and regular workers, not VIPs. Anything 0 to 2 is a white. 3 to 7 is probably a green. 8 and above is a red.
Okay.
Yeah, but that gives you an idea. Like, if you want to get wanted to get modifications. I apologize for not sharing that sooner.
Yeah. Are there stairs between the floors, or is it only like elevators?
It is only elevators. OSHA would have a fucking conniption fit.
So what do folks think about going to one of the public floors, but then just elevatoring up to R&D and just behaving as if someone has already told them we're coming, basically?
Also,
Like,
I apologize if that threw your plans out of whack.
no, like if
What plan?
someone wants like a body mod or something,
Yeah, because
It was
I know that out of
Rusty,
game we mentioned it, so
you know.
Rusty on comms
So-
is just like, I'd consider volunteering as tribute.
So
As
to
for my
clarify,
personal favorite, urethral reroutes. Jesus.
urethral reroute.
Yes.
Is that what it says? I didn't even read it. I just
Literally
like
says
I
that
look
right
for the
before
bold and
amputation.
where does that is that body mods?
Yeah, it's like in
Oh,
the middle
hey!
of body mods.
It's
Like,
right towards
what?
the end. Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
What
It's
does it
right above the
do?
space, which is why I just sort of went there. I'm like, what?
Well, Rusty, do you want to urinate out of your toe?
have you ever
I-
wanted to spit piss and vinegar?
Literally.
The stream coming out of your
Do
pinky.
you want vinegar to come out of your? It's not gonads, because everybody has gonads. But did you want to come out gonads of? Nah. Did you want?
Oh,
The answer to all of those questions is, of course,
No.
But, you know.
I don't know, being able to piss on someone's face as I break their jaw, as I punch them. Extra
Did you-
insult.
Did you want piss and vinegar minus the piss?
fine. Can I just piss out of my middle finger just to
Mm.
add like another layer on that?
Jane, I blame this on you.
I'm sorry. They're the ones who included urethral rerouting. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
worse
we
is
can't
right
blame
before
them.
that with Ian it is fingernail mods. So I mean, fingernail mod plus urethral reroute. I mean,
Sharpened fingernails,
Where else am I
stab them in the
supposed to-
neck, and then
Wait.
piss down their throat.
Yeah,
I guess sure.
we flip them off while
It's-
pissing at them and then shank them with it.
Yeah,
Apparently.
it's an extra horrible way to suffer. I don't know if you'll die, but it'll suffer.
It's just you have to be careful what angle you're holding your finger at when you decide to spray. You don't want it going back at you.
Oh good God!
Friendly
What
fire,
have I
friendly fire.
begun? What have I done?
I'm sorry.
You remember how, like, 20 minutes ago, you were like, I love this setting and it's amazing. And you regret your decision.
I love
The
the
next-
strange setting. I don't know
Next
necessarily
thing
if
you
I like the
post.
biopunk.
The very next thing you post too.
Yeah.
So not to change the subject, but with the elevator.
So what are we doing with fantasy? No. Yeah.
Talk about this all day. But
With the elevator, do you have to flash the ring before you go to a floor, or is it just you have it on you? The elevators can't theoretically take you anywhere, but it's after you get off onto the floor that the ring comes into play.
More prior. Like the entire security system kind of checks as you enter the area what you're accessible to. So like if you were to walk into an elevator and you have a white +2, it'll give you access to a specific area. Like if you walk into an elevator with a specific ring, it will give you access to specific floors. Like it might skip over 5, 193, 17. It'll skip over the floors you don't have access to. But like if you were to take a white ring to the surgical theaters, you'll get to the surgical theaters. You get to 183, 184. It'll
Okay,
let
but
you
we're
up
not
to
getting,
there.
but we're not getting to R&D straight away through the elevator with the ring we're walking in with.
Not straight with the visitor's ring. No.
But
Even
what
if
about
you were
the
to
south
I
side
access,
can do
showroom?
my if
yeah.
I can do my remote manipulate or whatever that thing is called,
Uh-huh.
distant interface. If we get on an elevator, can I try the distant interface to allow us to get off at the floor we want to go to?
What
Which is
floor are you looking
not
for?
195, say.
And you're looking for what ability? Let me make sure. Let me read it.
So assuming that I can use distant interface, so you can activate, deactivate, or control a machine at long range as if you were next to it, even if you would normally have to touch or manually operate it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That one.
Wow, you're adapting to this recursion really easily. How do you read through the pop-ups?
I mean, the same way, like, I've got a browser that just automatically hides most pop-ups unless it asks me to. I mean,
Oh, you found the ad block. Okay, I'll have to figure that out.
uh-huh. Like, my ad block is built in. I mean, I use Brave, but that's just because it lets me know, like, hey, I'll pay you if you let me see this ad. Okay. No joke, it paid me $250 in the day.
Nice.
I mean, that was after 6-9 months of building up credits, but anyway, you were looking at distant interface.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to. God, I wish we got paid for that. I wish I actually did this for money instead of just streaming, just so none of us have to take notes. Eh.
One day, maybe.
That's a level of effort beyond me. Activate,
There's a
deactivate,
reason it's
control.
called work, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't like to think that I've ever had a job. Well, that's a half lie. I don't like to think that I've ever had an adult job that wasn't a career. I worked at Subway in high school. Fuck that place.
Yeah.
Closest thing to a career I had was a temp job at a DMV.
There's a few places I've worked at as an adult where I'm still, yeah, no, fuck that place.
But you're still recovering.
Most of them.
Every fucking kitchen. Never again.
Do
Ross
not
pudding.
work for a cable company / low voltage company / TV company. It is the worst of both worlds, service and customer service. Or sorry, tech repair and customer service. It is the absolute worst of both worlds. If you have never interacted with a particular machine before, okay. Jane Imelda.
Yes.
Imelda. I will write it off as if you have never interacted, at least in this tower, if you've never interacted with necessarily that level of security or that type of machine, because there's like the elevator machine to get up and down floors, flat out, do you have access to this floor? Yes. Yes or no? And then there is, do you have access to this room? Yes or no? Kind of thing.
Okay, so here's the sequence of events.
Uh-huh.
So we
Think of this more like a door hack.
right, like we get white rings, go
Mhm.
through a door, right?
Right.
So I do have some experience with sort of how the door works. And all I want is for the door to let us on onto the R&D floor.
Mhm.
And then hopefully our bullshittery will get us further than that. Like
Okay.
I think that's the plan, right, Nick?
I will. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm still torn on the idea of stopping off on one of the more publicly accessible areas first, just
Okay,
so people
we could
can.
absolutely do that. That'll
Yeah.
just give me more experience with the mechanism.
I
Yeah,
Sure.
will
just so
say,
people can like call around and have a frame of reference. Like, yeah, these people are here for thus and such, and we're not just bursting in on the more restricted area without any kind of cover other than our own bullshit.
I will say that the elevator getting to a specific floor is harder than getting around said floor. So if I want to go to 198, it is harder to get to 198. Once you get there, then it's just a matter of getting through specific doors. If you can beat, like, if you get to 198 and the first door is green, you make it past that, and the next door is red, you've got to pass. There's 2 checks. But if the door after red is green, then you're fine. Whatever your highest check up to that point, I'm just going to carry over. But
Okay.
anytime there is a check, if it is a higher check, I will ask for it.
Gotcha.
And that's more a meta thing, really more for Imelda and Jane. But if it is a higher check, just like an access check, I'm going to go off of your previous access check. I'm going to go off your previous access check. So if you get onto the floor, obviously you're on the floor. That's the floor. The floor? That's the bottom of your check.
Okay,
As long as the
so
check
I
doesn't
think-
go up, because obviously you're not going to go through a red door to get to a green door, because that's dumb.
Right.
On
Right, and
so many levels.
I don't think right now we're planning to go to a red area yet.
Mhm.
We're gonna start white and then go to green, right?
Yeah, see if we can
That-
get a
Okay.
green ring.
yeah.
Well, like I said, you guys know
And
you
if
can get a
not,
white
we
ring
can
to
just-
whole body. You
Mhm.
can probably get, I would say, without even making a check, you guys, yeah. You guys,
You
y'all
guys, yeah.
can probably make like a white +2. You can get access with the entire party to the entirety of 192. Getting past that, sorry, 194. 194.
Okay.
And that's just like without actively rolling between Ian, or sorry, not Ian, Imelda and Vander, between personal checks and computer checks, and Rusty and Ian kind of acting as backup, and then your machine companion just kind of there as like a fifth person. You guys can get through pretty much all of 194. You can't get access to the actual surgical rooms because that's technically it's not red ring check, but it's green plus red level check.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get into the surgical rooms. I think it's more a matter of convincing someone on that floor to
Mhm.
give us a green ring or help us get up to the next area somehow, because we have convinced them that we are exterminators and this is an emergency situation, something bullshit.
something rapistic.
So, if you guys are going for exterminator, reason/excuse for getting higher levels. One person, I imagine
Not a-
probably Vander, since he's kind of the personal face. But I'll leave it up to y'all. Give me a check for that. I imagine it's an intellect check. If you guys have a skill that applies to persuasion, probably more deception,
Yeah,
lying
I'm
about who you are, kind of thing. With
I'm specialized in deception.
I'd imagine. Give me a check. Let me see how far you guys are going to get with it. Because you guys will get very much into 184. Ten. Holy
There we
shit.
go.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Where is?
So you rolled an 18. That makes it a 6. Plus a specialization, which makes it an 8. That's... and plus... Oh, you gave effort to it. 2 effort. That made it exactly a 10. Okay. You were trying to get past what floor? Or you were trying to get past 184 for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanna get up
into
there.
195 or 96.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or even
Uh,
better, 197, but we're not
Oh, yeah,
we're
yeah,
not
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be greedy.
Personally, I think what we're looking for is in the maintenance areas, not R&D.
So the
Yeah.
197 to
Yeah.
200.
Yeah, I just figured our story was better for R&D, but yeah, what we actually want is in the heavily scare quoted maintenance.
Okay. Hmm. So I'm torn. Okay, so my thinking right off the bat. Vander is amazingly persuasive. He's going to be able to get himself up to 197. As a group, you guys can probably get to 196. There's 4 of you plus a robot, which is gonna get you to 196. Just because, like, hey, the robot's got to stay behind, and probably, I mean, getting 197 to 200. You're looking at individual level. Like Vander can go up there.
Nice.
That's it. Vander can go to 197 to 200.
Yeah.
The group can go to 197. The machine can't go past 196.
And
The entire
197.
party can go to 196. Your robot can wait basically outside the elevator at 187. The group minus robot can go 187. If you work together and really push, you might be able to get just a third of the way into the 198. Maintenance is a bitch to get into. Like, I'm looking at the checks to get into it. Holy shit. No.
Okay.
Vander is the only one that has, even then, you've got unfettered on your own, Vander. You can get into probably a third of 197 to 200. If you have an escort, 2/3. There is another third of that maintenance branch You're just flat out not allowed to. Period.
Okay.
Which I mean, automatically is like, wait a minute, what? and they're just like, yeah, no, I don't. No, you're not allowed. No, just no.
So
Okay.
what I propose is we all go up to 197, and well,
So when we go on to 197, I very much am paying attention to the scan things
Mhm.
to see like who has red rings, how does that interact with any kind of either monitoring or scanning, like to get into rooms or whatever, to see if that's any different than what we've experienced before.
So you're looking for what? Sorry. Like for just like anybody that Imelda, like, differences that Imelda's seen so far, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Give me a check.
Um. So what kind of check is that?
Sorry. You're looking for distance interface, right? Or
Distant
distant
interface, right? Yeah.
interface.
Okay. So.
And that was a question, not
Yep.
necessarily not like a leading answer. So just because Vander is very much more like the local area network, the LAN, where Imelda's the WAN, wide area network.
Right.
You guys have similar abilities with different roles, even on your sheet, and it's mildly infuriating. As a tech person, it's mildly infuriating.
See, he deceives, I charm. It's
Yeah.
completely different.
Well, yeah.
Technically.
But he deceives the computer, you deceive the internet.
Well, no, I also deceive computers.
So you're a
I
face
charm
pot.
computers.
Oh god.
You deceive a network, he deceives a computer.
Yeah.
It's debatable that if he were to break through, he could possibly give you an advantage on yours. But if you go straight on yours, it would be a disadvantage. Using air quotes old air quotes 5e
Yeah.
style.
Ugh, what's that system? I've never heard of that.
Right? I know. I can't wait for like
Isn't
the
that what
holidays
you're
when I can do it
supposed to
like
give
a
me like levels of difficulty or whatever,
Hmm?
like a minus something?
I would so meta wise, what I have in mind as you guys have been moving up is if Imelda is trying to do a check flat out, you have a -3. If
Okay.
Vander does a check, and so long as he doesn't like roll a 1, you get a sorry, Imelda has a -6 to a check. And so long as Vander doesn't roll a -1, or roll a flat 1, Imelda has a -3.
Okay.
And if Vander like succeeds it, you get like a +3. If Vander rolls a flat 20, you get a +6.
Okay.
And I'm just like making these checks meta wise, kind of on the fly in my head, visually, kind of thing. Like I'm not necessarily telling you guys, but that's kind of what's going on, because it's as you guys have been describing what you're doing as you go, and that's entirely based on how you go. is you guys are combining your local hacking with your uh, network hacking. I'm hacking my neighbor's Wi-Fi, and then I'm hacking into my neighbor's Wi-Fi, and then using that to hack into uh, the internet. I don't know. I used to do this as a kid. Jesus. I wish I was kidding. Like 10, 12 years old, I used to hack into shit.
Oh, how tech has moved since then.
Well, when I was 10, 12 years old, it was still in the mid 90s, Nate. I'm sorry. Internet was still not really a thing that we know today.
I was present for the dial-up tone. I still have.
You were present, exactly. You were
I was
present in the
there.
same. Never mind. Anyway, okay. Sorry,
Where was Nick when the West?
I
when the
am.
dial-up tone?
Yeah, I am semi-meta in-game ranting.
Do you want to talk about this, bud? Do you need like a cup of tea and a big comfy cushion?
I always need a cup of tea.
Good call. Good call.
That's actually what I make before game, but yeah.
Moving on.
You guys like that
No.
pop-up? I just like the occasional like pop.
Like fuck yeah.
Mm.
So are you saying then that Vander has to roll first? And then
I'm saying it depends on how you guys do it. What I'm saying is, depending on like if Vander wants to roll first, that's fine. And if he passes, whatever like area check you guys are trying to make, then Imelda gets up to a +6 or a -3 to her check, depending on how Vander rolls.
okay.
Or if Imelda just wants to flat out make a check, if Imelda just wants to say, I want to try to hack in from the All Song into this room, you can do so with a -6. If Vander at least tries, so long as he didn't roll like a minus, as long as he didn't roll a 1, Imelda was Imelda. Okay, let me start over. If Imelda flat out rolls, I'm assuming a -3 to Imelda's rolls with no assistance.
Okay.
With assistance from Vander. Barring Vander rolling a 1, GM intrusion. The worst Imelda rolls is a -3.
Okay. I can totally do that because I have intelligence points to spend, intellect points to spend.
Right. If Vander rolls a 1, Imelda has a -6 instead of a -3.
That's okay.
Should Vander roll above that room tier or DC,
okay. Yep.
Imelda will
getting it
roll between a -3, which is basically he failed it but didn't completely fail it, to
Okay.
a 0. Is Vander failed it but didn't completely fuck it up.
And these rooms now in the maintenance area tier 4, you said, or higher than that?
I haven't said.
Ah. Well, it's up to vendor. I'm fine either way, but
And again, I asked, how far between Vander and Imelda, either of you, or both of you, are you trying to get?
well, I think here is where we really I mean, everyone else can chime in, but I feel like 197 is where we have to kind of switch more to investigation mode as opposed to like powering upward mode, because we have to get information at some point, right? Like we can't just keep going up floors. At some point, we have to talk to people, find papers, something to figure out what the fuck is going on here. So, you know, that's my thought is once we get to 197, we have to start to actually like,
Do our job.
Go
yeah,
look for the
like
spiral.
figure out what the hell is going on.
Reasonable.
So I think we're going to 197.
Yeah.
Okay. At least like 187 to 198. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And then
early
I would-
levels. Okay.
Yeah, and
And
I'm-
again, like I said, is Vander can get you to 197, maybe 198. You can push into 198. Once you get much past there, you're starting to look. It's like, are you supposed to be here? Kind of thing. Like everybody's asking you,
yeah,
and it's
like,
pretty much on
we're
every
definitely
floor.
leaving we're leaving Johnny 5 behind. Like,
Uh huh. Think
and
of
I'm
this.
also using gather intelligence
Uh-huh.
as we're doing this. So I think that gives me an asset, maybe. What does that do?
You're trying to do which one?
Gather intelligence.
Let me see. Gather intelligence.
I can get a good
When in a
idea of the
group of
general
people-
layout of the location, note the presence of all major sites, notice details, but it does take me an hour. So
Okay. And you're trying to not spend an hour on a floor, I would imagine, because
right,
that's
but
awkward.
just sort of cumulatively, it's more about like what's the deal here is kind of what I'm
Right.
trying. Like what what are they
Exactly.
really doing here?
Yeah.
Other than,
So,
making drugs.
Thanks.
Evander,
Yes.
give me a flat d20. Give me a flat d20. Yeah.
What?
Hiya! Well, that's a 1. Holy God. Okay. I did.
Excellent.
Of all the
Excellent.
things I did not expect, I did not expect a 1.
You should have
Okay.
expected it. Come on.
From 10 to 0,
Ah.
nothing flat. Let's fucking go.
I
am-
honestly,
I
I
am
never
ready
expect a
to be
1.
up
I
to
also never expect a 20. So I always
We'll
hope
bet
for a
time to
20.
start.
I always hope for a 20. I honestly do. I do honestly hope for 20. That's a 1. I have to roll the GM intrusions table.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, this is a 1d35. What's that?
The GM has a hernia.
Yeah, I know, right? In the middle of the interaction, the NPC reveals completely surprising agenda of his own.
What?
Okay.
Character
that's
does not agree to help in some way.
We have a
Provide
fetch
info,
quest.
money, etc. Offer
It's a
assistance.
fetch quest.
No. If the character does not agree to help in some way, success in the interaction becomes impossible if the character does not accept to assist in some way.
Right. So we have to do the pitch
Let me see. Ian.
in order for the NPC to help us.
Right. Ian.
Or
Exactly.
narc us
Yes.
out, I suppose.
As you said, Jane, because you have just sealed what I was thinking. Ian,
Hi.
you haven't rolled yet this session. And you don't roll a ton outside of combat.
Not really good at much else.
I mean, well, you're built for a roll. I don't blame you for that. No, I'm not blaming the player for that. Not at all. Not at all.
We're just built different.
Give me a flat D10. The lower the roll on this, the more like the individual is asking Vander, like, Vander, you look like an individual of mind. I want you to help me overthrow the entire government of all of it. Okay. A 5. Okay.
Okay, yeah, one shot backwards.
You rolled the 5 as I'm leaning into the mic.
Everything's
So 5.
level.
Okay.
I wish that one really did disappear when it flipped backwards.
Oh, did it roll back on yours?
I rolled it and it shot back off the screen and I think bounced back into it because it disappeared and then the second wait. Where the hell did the other die go? I don't know. Two
Damn it.
dies moved really weird and one of them counted first and I don't know which.
Ah.
Oh well.
And then it came
That's
back.
fine.
Well.
Again.
Yeah, it's a 5 first. I did roll
Yeah. Yeah, the 5 counted first, unfortunately. Well,
twice. Yeah.
or well, one was the asking Vander to help him overthrow the entire world government. 10 was like, yeah, help me get a promotion. So a 5. Vander, between a 1 helping overthrow the government of the world, the hegemony. Hegemony. I think that's the word.
Yes.
And a
Hegemony?
10 being, dude, I just want to get like a promotion, like 1 level up. I want to be like the store shift supervisor. He's asking a 5. I mean, he's asking to be, I guess, district manager. Like he wants to oversee like 2, maybe 3 floors. Does Vander accept? It's like, hey, dude, I know you. You look familiar. Hey, help me get like a 2 or 3 rank pay bump. I imagine this guy is like not a floor supervisor, where we consider like a floor supervisor to be a store manager, like the manager of Domino's. Like he wants to oversee like Domino's for Kansas
Region.
City.
Yeah.
Kansas City. He wants to be the Domino's manager of Kansas City.
Lines you never think you're going to hear playing any of tabletop RPG, but here we are.
Nate, I don't know. What's a small city in the UK? Not London, because that's the only city I know in the UK.
I'm going to say, London is not a small city. London is
no.
fucking huge.
Oh yeah, London is comparable to New York.
Yeah, let's. I think London's bigger than New York, but yeah.
population
square
area.
mileage.
But anyway,
Physically bigger,
Area.
yeah.
I
Probably
don't know
both.
why Edinburgh
Let's-
popped in my head.
anyway,
Anyhow, let's
Anywho.
go. Let's go with the border that will most piss off Min. Bristol is a decent sized city that isn't exactly
Okay.
huge, and it's in the south, and it's where we mark the north. Anything north of there is the north, and that includes Wales.
So Bristol for the UK, that's like I'm assuming half the size of London. Sure.
No, but it's a small
This
city.
would be more in the US. I don't know. Small city versus like, well, small city. This is like I want to be the manager of the Domino's in all of Kansas City. Kansas City is actually surprisingly big.
So vendor,
And he's coming to
Here's that.
Vander saying, like, dude, come on. You look familiar. You look like Steve. I think you're Steve. Come on, man. You look enough like Steve that he thinks you're Steve. As my browser pop-up that pays me kicks up and says, okay.
so vendor's gonna roll with this.
And
And
that's the
it
thing.
takes-
Like, yeah, sorry. I coming from the Midwest myself, I forget how big of towns that people on the coasts live near. Omaha is a small city for me. Kansas City for me is a mid-sized city. Like New York is basically a state. New York City is basically a state on its own. And then there's New York State. And New York State minus Kansas City might as well be Midwest. If that helps from a DM's view. I come from a small town mentality.
Yeah. I came from a city of
I gotcha.
15,000 to Denver.
So still a mid. So yeah, I guess I don't know. What's the
See,
town?
Denver doesn't even seem like a city to me because people all park underground and don't walk on the sidewalks, and that makes me crazy. But
Yeah.
Hold on,
I live
hold
in
on,
New York,
hold
so
on.
I understand my view is skewed.
Denver metro population, and I spelled
Oh,
population.
Denver is a very large city for sure.
Well,
It seems
That's-
weird to me because like people like there's no one on the sidewalk, and to me that's
I walk.
definitionally a city has people on the sidewalk, but LA doesn't either. So
Well,
I mean,
outskirts, yes, but when you get to downtown Denver, there is pretty much pure foot traffic. Well, not pure. It's so backed up. There's no reason to use a car unless you already park there and you're trapped.
yeah.
technically Omaha has foot traffic. Depends on what neighborhood district you're looking at. Denver and Omaha are very much Midwest traffic, where both are very much urban sprawl.
Yeah. Hell, around
If
16th
you
Street,
get-
there's not even road.
Exactly. If you get out of that hardcore classic downtown, where it is all foot traffic for like 4 blocks, maybe 10 blocks, you drive to a district and then it's 4 blocks, maybe 10 blocks. Yeah. Metro Denver population hasn't anticipated, is anticipated to increase to a population of more than 3.6 million.
Wow.
Omaha Metro, where I am from, is a third of that. Less than a third of that. Like the Metro is roughly 1 million people. So I come from a very small city, very small metro, where Ian is very much from a only small metro.
Yeah, the area that we used to go to for the bigger city near me has a population of 126,000. That was the big
Adams.
city where I grew up.
Okay, population by county.
Oh God, Baton Rouge is empty.
Yes, it is. Adams County, Colorado, has a population of 517,000 people, almost 518,000. A little under.
Where the hell?
I don't know what it is. I don't. That's the county where I live because Omaha covers technically like 1 2 half county. It's weird. Omaha covers like half of Omaha covers like Adams County.
Oh, gross. That's Commerce City.
But yeah.
Okay. So
Adams is where you go to get
14,000.
lung cancer. Okay, that's where that is.
Sorry, I got distracted by different Midwest small counties.
I was looking stuff up too.
I was gonna say, did you
Oh.
just simultaneously fall down a rabbit hole?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So when this guy approaches Vander with this ultimatum, basically, Vander will shake this guy's hand, clap his shoulder. You know what? You've been putting in some good work. I can definitely make that happen for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll kick this upstairs. I'll have a talk with the bosses, and yeah, we're definitely gonna make this happen for you. Do you have like a resume to pass along? Because I know the good work you've been doing, but you know the bosses upstairs, they got to have something tangible to have on hand.
Oh yeah, you would find this guy is like this guy is right at that green level, like probably ±2. Like just surface scanning, like as you're talking to him, you get the sense this guy is pretty solidly a green level. He'd get you access into most or up to half a maintenance. You could like as you're talking to him, I imagine like Vander's kind of like, okay, yeah, and like every so often, like kind of shuffling off key codes, kind of thing, off to Imelda. Yeah, Vander, give me
Okay.
a Let me see, because you're just straight up trying to talk to him. Give me deception check.
Okay.
And so long as you roll every level, you roll above a every level you roll above a 4, you'll give Imelda +3. So a 4, you'll give Imelda a flat check.
Okay.
Every level above that, you'll give her a +3 to her whatever. Like if she's trying to hack into the whatever next higher level she's trying to check, or whatever floor level she's trying to get hack into. You still have to hack into room and like area kind of thing, but she'll get you to the floor. And
Okay.
we'll say you guys are on this divided by 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 is the checks on this D20. Okay? 5, 10,
Okay.
15, 20. So on tiers of 5. So skip whatever the 3 is. The die roll. So a 10. So anything 1, 2. Okay. So flat out 199, 200 is going to be straight Imelda roll. But anything below that, whatever you roll, she'll get anywhere from 0. It depends on what you roll.
Okay. Here we go.
9. Okay.
Okay. Oh, but a 7 because he put some effort into that mojo.
Oh, he did. Yeah, so that's a 3. And he specialized Inception +2 +5. So, like I said, ignore the 3. Okay. Are you guys? Are you guys trying to get to a specific floor, or is it just kind of one of those like you're trying to get to this area? Because Vander talking to this guy, he'll get you up to 198. He'll get you about halfway up this maintenance floor. He'll get you access to the floor. Or at the very least, this guy will escort you up to the elevator and say, "Oh shit, I hit the wrong floor," as you guys get off, kind of thing.
Yeah, we'll talk to Bob for you, sure.
Yeah. Oh, you know Steve? Yeah, I know Dexter too. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is this guy high as a
Just
fucking
don't
kite?
steal his mug, right? Don't eat his lunch.
I like
Yeah.
that my Midwest accent comes off as Nate's high as a kite, but yeah.
She's like, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's go.
It's a dystopian future. He probably has some kind of like inhaler with meth in it or whatever they use at that point. He has
Meth.
jet.
Please.
That's it. They have jet.
Oh, please. I come from the capital of meth in this country. Please.
Ah. That's about 40 minutes away from. I've heard Greeley just smells like meth and cow poop.
You've never been to Omaha. Anyway, continue, Nate. Oh, anybody, continue.
Okay, so
You
what do
guys
guys
can
think?
get
If
to
we get
just
198,
yeah,
then-
you can get through 198 and with Vander.
So I'm gonna try to get us to 199.
Okay.
Or do we want to try to
Well,
get
going-
more info
Hang
before
on.
we go up?
Going floor to floor, are we finding anything about Spiral? Are we finding
Yeah,
the drug
like is
itself,
my
or are we
gather
finding
in you know what? Here,
Yeah.
let me do this. Here is my gather intelligence roll.
Oh, hell
Okay.
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like is because this is elevator based. Are you going floor to floor gathering intelligence, or are you going to a specific floor gathering intel?
So
we do not have a specific floor in mind because we know jack shit about this place.
right. So
Well,
basically,
yeah.
I'm just trying to gather, like, as we met up with this guy and he took us to the floor, I'm like
Yeah.
looking around at like what are the people doing? What kind of things are here? What's is there surveillance? Is there are there carts with stuff on them? Like what's going on here?
Why is maintenance in quotation marks?
Yeah. Yes, why is maintenance in quotation marks even on the floor signs?
I just have to ask, is that something we are cognizant of? That people refer to this as quote unquote maintenance, or is that a strictly out of character thing?
Well, maintenance is one of those like the air quotes on maintenance is like who's allowed to it. Technically, maintenance is like a green plus 2 or 3. Like a maintenance equivalence, like air quotes maintenance, is like 1 plus 7 kind of thing. Like it is very specific. Like you have this specific room that you have maintenance on, which would very much be a Imelda roll. But because you guys don't know quite where you're going, I haven't really kicked it up that high yet.
Wait, so
If you like, you guys don't have necessarily a floor plan to 197 to 200.
right.
You can't even get a floor plan from the all song. So I like, even with Imelda's check, like I haven't given you that information. So like meta wise, like DM view, you know 197 to 200 exists. Those four floors exist. Clearly you know they exist because you have the basic floor plan of the tower. Until you get to that 4-floor section, it's kind of a black box. Then you get in there, and Vander's able to get like, okay, maintenance is allowed to generally these sections on regular minutes, unless it's like the dilithium crystals have collapsed and we need this specific. We need the liquid modulator 3D printers recalibrated kind of thing. Unless they give you a specific task, they're not allowing you into a specific area. So it's kind of a 1 plus up to 10 area, or a white plus area. That white, green, red is very much a white, green, red is like your base level kind of thing. You guys are still operating on white level. You've made it be just flat out with Vander's rolls. You've made it up to 198 pretty much anywhere. Like there might be like 1 or 2 rooms kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think once we start getting into 198, we're slowing down now. We're like
Yeah.
trying
And
to get as many places as we can get.
Yeah, and
Find out
even
as much as
then,
find out.
between Vander and Imelda, like you can get probably half, 3/4 of 198. There's a few rooms where, like, yeah, no, you can get 198 plus, but you flat out have to have access higher, kind of thing. You can get white plus access there higher with an
So-
escort, but for what you guys are trying to do, 199. Once you get higher than there,
So what would we need to do to get to, let's call them the forbidden rooms of 198?
so the
Like,
rooms that
is
you
that
cannot
something I
get
can
to,
use that remote access thing for, or
the rooms you cannot get to between 197 and 200, I would say between all of the floors, between Vander and Imelda, even working together with no checks, like we're looking at 0 tier between the two of you. You're looking at half the floor.
okay.
And
So-
yeah, if you want to take action rolls to recover, I would say up to 1 action and 10 minutes recovery rolls. I think Vander's probably the only one that's made those. But
Yeah. So what have we found out? So in the places that we're able to see,
you have found out
what is going on here? Also, I'm gonna have to end at 7 my time, so we
No,
have
it's
like
fine.
25.
I think we're about to wrap up to where you will get access to the next tier.
Okay.
of session. So, what you guys are going to find out between Vander and Imelda, you guys are going to get access to the Nakaran / maintenance level. Okay?
hmm
With probably 2/3 of R&D. Because I think that was the focus, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at that air quotes maintenance versus the R&D. So fuck R&D. Because that maintenance got air quotes. We gotta go there.
Yeah.
R&D. So, the maintenance level. You guys will find the elevators for white will pretty much carry you up to every floor. And then there's like an immediate antechamber. To get past there, you need more. You need white plus. You need green. With maintenance tags, you like about half the floor. You're gonna start to see between 195 200. About half the floor. There's guys that are coming up with like these white robes, these white outfits with like green trim. They've all got kind of this similar knowledge, kind of like they've all got specific knowledge about tasks per se that they're working on, but it's very much localized. Like this person is working on this very specific thing. Like I am working on how to help with depression surrounding work caused by a superior manager, but also because I have shit superior subordinates kind of thing. Like, think of psychopharmacology on the most minute scale. And, well, yeah. um,
Do we hear anyone who's talking about drugs or drug treatments?
hmm. Hmm. Nate. Rusty, give me a flat d20. You haven't rolled yet tonight. Much.
I
3.
regret.
11.
Hey,
Okay.
Average. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
So as you guys are going, like, there's the initial, like, okay, you guys are able to make it through half, probably 2/3 of the floor. There's still this section. And I would imagine there's, as a group, you guys will kind of figure out there's this block, not of the floor, but of the building. It's one of those, like, if you go to 197, it's like, okay, I can walk out about 25 feet from the elevator. I hit a wall. I turn around and go 10 feet and hit a wall, kind of thing. And you go to the next floor above and you do the same thing. And the next floor above, you do the same thing. Next floor above. Overall, you're able to hit all 4 of those floors. And you hit this same dead spot in the building. You have narrowed it down to there is this one. There's a dead spot in this building between everyone where, short of making more checks, there is maybe a quarter up to a third of this building. Well, not the building, but of these 4 floors, where is this a dead zone? where short of getting a flat green ring or higher, you can't do it. Let's see. One final check. Ian and Rusty, both of you give me a flat d20 with a +3, and I'll take the average of the two.
Trash. Much better.
3, 9, 4.5. So we'll call it a 5. Which makes it a challenge. So overall, it's going to take a lot of effort. Even so, like, short of like master spies, like corporate spies kind of thing, like, I forgot the name of the goddamn comic now. Shit. Anyway.
Batman?
Even with high level spycraft and ninja craft kind of thing, you guys are just going to get to not Batman. Not quite Batman. I would imagine Batman is, of all things, I imagine Batman is one tier lower than Moon Knight, but that's only because most people don't know who the fuck Moon Knight is. But anyway.
Your nerd is showing.
Yeah, exactly. Moon Knight is basically Batman with less money and more personalities. Moon Knight is Batman with multiple personalities, but he knows it. Let me find it.
Oh yeah. Very much
Yeah.
possessed by his god, whose aspects actually fracture his mind to make a personality that fits each aspect of his god.
Yeah.
That fucking sentence hurt my head. Please don't do that again.
Yeah.
Well, that's Moon Knight.
Moon Knight is take Batman, subtract money, add multiple personality. And that's Moon Knight. Oh, also add Dracula. Sorry, Dracula owes him money.
Yeah.
Memes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's semi-me. Oh, I didn't mean to share that to you. Sorry. Stop sharing. Oh, there's no image there anyway. Eh. I was looking for a thing. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. You will find. You get to half to 2/3. Vander, give me one final flat d20. We're looking for a high-low.
Okay.
10 or lower, or 11 or higher. 11 or higher, you see this. And this is flat d20. Okay. You're going to find your way to this.
So basically, what you're saying is that, like, the area that we can't get to on all of these floors is holy shit, is a giant worm.
Yeah, this thing's going to cover 4 floors. That blackout section you can't get to,
Oh,
you'll find your way to the entrance of this. You will find
I
your
wouldn't
way.
call that an entrance as much as a mouth.
We'll call this 198. This is on floor 198. You'll make your way into maintenance and kind of like, okay. And maybe like one of you guys kind of like there's like a red key or a red ring makes it through the door, and like one of you guys slips through the door and then slips back, or like as a group you happen to see like somebody's going through with red ring and you happen to be in the lobby kind of thing. You're like, wait, what the fuck? Huh? You'll see that as the doors close on it. At
Oh,
best,
Jesus.
I'll give you guys
I'm
the
out.
option. I'll give you the option. This thing covers floors in height.
Okay.
Do you, as a group, want to see this as a group? Or is this one of those one person happens to slip through the door? Like, as a red ring walks through. This is like one of those like elevator doors, and like one person like whips around the corner real quick and like, oh, don't see me kind of thing.
I've got a thought. Once I see that red ring,
Uh-huh.
I would use my my ability to use the senses of others
Uh-huh.
to hop into his head.
Oh, that works too. Yeah.
And and I
So-
don't need to see him just so long as he's in range. So after the door closes, I can still continue to see.
So regardless, Vander will see this. So between Rusty, Ian, and Imelda, then I guess, or even with Vander, regardless of Vander's going to see this. But does as a group, I don't even have this make a check. I'll make this like a pseudo meta, semi meta, whatever. Group opinion. Does one of you make it through, or are you going to leave this up to Vander to see this on his own through the side of others?
Yeah, it's very hard for me not to be meta about this because this seems so Cthulhu-ish. But I'm afraid Vander is going to lose his mind if we
Well,
let him just like go
this
there
will
on his own.
not. This won't make him like. This won't force him to make like a psych check or anything like crazy like that.
Also, of the group, he's probably the best equipped right now to handle that kind of scenario.
Right.
So
And we can I guess I would be interested to know whether this is a biological thing, a mechanical thing, or some hybrid.
And meta wise, again, this is to the players. Does one of the party see this, or is this just Vander sees this either through a party member's eyes or through some schmo's eyes that's walking through it?
I'd say the schmo would probably know what he's doing more, and that would be like a little
Well,
information on what they're doing with it.
This
Yeah,
doesn't
like,
necessarily lend Vander knowledge of what they're seeing. This just Vander's abilities lets him see through their eyes and ears, kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
He
Vander
can see their
would-
surface
would
knowledge,
zero
to
in.
which they would say like, "Okay, Petunia, let's go."
yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
sort of
Vander
feel
would
like
zero
we all
in on the red ring. Vander would zero in on the red ring, not a party member.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
I mean, I would let I think sort of cinematically, all of us sort of glimpse it, but not necessarily anything more than like an impression of it. But
Yeah.
then Vander like locks on to someone who's on the floor and the doors shut and we go like down or up or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm, if Vander's okay with it, I'm okay with him just sort of seeing, like doing the recon of like, what the fuck? And then,
Do
but all of us
this.
going like, oh my God, what? Like, not even really knowing what it was, except that there's like a goopy mouth and disgustingness and like, ugh.
Let me do this
Yeah,
to
I
make
don't
it
have
a
any issue with-
little easier on you guys.
Because I don't have any issue with Vander experiencing this by himself at first.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying is like,
Oh, let me take that off. Okay. So, what you guys can see right off the bat, stepping off the elevator, is this. Okay? There's a lobby.
Mhm.
Second thing you see is in each square there is roughly 10 feet ish. It gets a little wonky later on, maybe. But. And this is pretty much where you guys have made it to. I figure this is like 198. Vander, seeing somebody through, or sharing senses through like a red ring. Like this is the once, like probably the first spot you guys have actually seen a red ring. And Vander connecting to and trying to share senses with this guy, just surface senses. This is what the guy sees. Is this giant, I don't know, 3-4 stories high? Earthworm? I don't even know. I don't know that I've ever seen the mouth of an earthworm, come to think of it.
So it's like a leech almost, with how it's like.
Almost, but without the teeth. Leech
Giant
teeth are
flesh tube.
legitimately kind of scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said
Forbidden
Yeah.
noodles.
being / hellmouth / worm / cave is
Yeah,
how I put it in my notes.
that too. Yeah.
The forbidden butthole.
Yeah. It is very much an inverted butthole. Yeah,
Yeah.
that works too.
It is a cursed name for a cursed creature.
Complete with like drool.
Yeah.
No. You guys are gonna make it up to that far. You're gonna find this inverted intestine. And I don't even know. I don't know what to call it. I mean, yeah, the image calls it the Necron Feedway, and I imagine like Vander would get that as like the surface readings, but like, there's no reference for that. What?
So this thing is the knacker whatever.
Macaran Feedway? Is that what he said? Feedway?
Feedway, I think
Oh, yeah.
is what he said.
Just like the image of the map is titled the Nakaran Feedway, or just
Oh, it just
Nakaran
comes up as
Feedway.
identified for me.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Unidentified map / image.
Oh, boop. There we go. Dark Spiral, Nakaran Feedway.
Okay.
There's no the. It's just Nakaran Feedway.
I'm guessing it is the feedway of the Nakaran, and that is the Nakaran.
Sure.
There is a
That's-
convenient gangway to feed it.
That's
There's no
just the
the?
feedway for the Nakaran.
There's no prefix. There's no middle fix.
Context?
There's no
Oh, tell
the.
me like humans go in and then it poops out spiral. That would be gross. Okay.
Sure, that works. Yeah. Okay.
Ay, ay, ay.
And we
But-
just not.
The
Right.
opening of Nakaran Feedway is like 6.5 feet high. Just like that mouth like opening. That's like 6.5 feet. Yeah.
Ay,
You're
ay,
looking at
ay.
like 6 to 7 feet. Yeah. Oh, and I have dogs. Yeah.
What is?
Okay. Okay.
It is cursed, is what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It,
It
absolutely is. Yeah. I would even go so far as let me see. Let me see if I can find it.
Virgil,
So you guys can see that far. Vander. Hold on. if you're looking at the Nacron map, Vander,
Uh-huh.
you can see where it opens up a bit.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna move your token. And you'll see where whoever you're following essentially walks into the mouth and you lose connection.
Oh no. Oh gross.
And like he makes it within a few feet of you walking in there, and it's one of those like really weird, like if you ever have like a bad connection like Wi-Fi, or like if you're watching a phone or watching a video on your phone and like it starts to kind of pause and get super pixelated and you can watch the resolution drop on like YouTube on your phone as he gets
Mhm.
even just within like 3 or 4 steps inside the mouth of this thing, you watch as the resolution just drops within like step, resolution drop, step, drop, step, drop, step, drop, step, drop, step, no connection. Like he only makes it 3, 4, maybe 5 steps inside this mouth, and you flat out lose connection. Like it's not nearly enough. Like okay, you shouldn't have like like you've been in Rook long enough now to figure okay, I can reach out this far, I can do this much kind of thing. Like you've realized like the edges of your like effortless ability, the edges of your like okay, I've got to put some oomph into it, and the edges of the yeah, there's no way I can reach past this. This is the edges of the like okay, I've got to put a lot of effort to even get past this point, and it's like 4 steps inside this mouth. And the difference between like at the mouth and 4 steps normally on the street is like 2 or 3 blocks, like New York City blocks of your normal ability is limited to like 3 or 4 physical steps inside the mouth of this thing.
So he didn't walk out of range. Something is interfering.
Give me an intellect check. Or if you have any knowledge strange. I think this is more knowledge strange. This isn't necessarily magic.
Yeah.
Because magic is much more on the recursion as we've been running it. On the on the setting that you're at. Yeah.
Eh.
3. Okay. You would figure out that this is very much like you're used to again that street magic, even like that New York City like David Copperfield magic. So you know what illusion looks like, and you know what like Arden like legitimate like fantasy magic looks like. This is almost plainer. It's plainer, but it's not. Maybe almost pocket dimension without being pocket. If that makes sense. Like you've hit a region where for whatever reason the physics in this area changed. Like you
So
walked through
space
an
works.
opposite gate with, yeah, it's almost like you walked through an opposite gate without realizing it.
The hole in the
Huh.
worm is a wormhole.
For
Yo.
lack of a better phrase, yeah. Like physics inside this worm are different.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
I have some. What item is that? There's a cipher I have.
Uh-huh.
Um, the multiphasic module. Does
Let me
Can
see.
that tell me if something is like trans-dimensional, or it just can hit it if it is?
For the next day, the weapon can affect out-of-phase, transdimensional, ethereal, incorporeal creatures within the context of the given recursion. I mean, so this is weird.
Like it's
Multiphasic
fine if the
module.
answer is no. I just am like,
Oh yeah, no. Well, it's the answer is it's complicated because
okay,
Vander's gonna very quickly realize like he knows his abilities. Even like you guys have traveled enough in the system, in the strange, in the nexus, or in the network, or whatever you want to call it. Vander's abilities don't transition the strange. Like if Imelda goes to Earth, even through an opposite gate, Vander's abilities don't travel through the gate.
yeah,
They pretty much hit the gate and it's like, and they disperse, and there's just nothing. Vander's abilities are still connected. To whoever, like the red ring he's following through is still there. He's still on the same recursion. You're still in the same dimension. But it's almost as if like every step they ended up, every step was another block away.
Hmm.
You're still in the same recursion, the same. I. It's. Evander, give me. Because I don't necessarily want to charge Imelda for a cipher. Vander, give me. Hmm. Let's see. Give me an intellect stealth check. And this will be very much like, okay, Vander feels the guy slipping away and he's going to try to sneak past the door and quick talk the guy, trying to get past the door onto the bridge kind of thing. At least trying to get a little bit closer. Reestablish that connection.
Okay.
And I set your stealth to intellect, so yeah, just
Okay.
stealth intellect.
All right, here we go. Ah, damn.
That's still 4. That's still, it's better than before. So, 4. Yeah. Okay. So, you're going to make it up 2. here's where it gets interesting. So you're physically going to talk past the person at the door. So everybody will be able to see that. Ah. Shit. Okay. So everybody can see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Even if it's just for the briefest of moments.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? Great big giant worm guy.
I stand by my statement. That is the forbidden butthole.
uh let's see here. Let me find it. You guys will all see that.
Yes.
As the door kind of opens, you'll see it pretty much up to the pillars, and then it closes. As Vander like sweet talks the person, and it closes behind him. And it's very much one of those like everybody else in the group is like, there's a dividing wall in front of it with a secretary in front of that, and it's like wait, what? Huh? Oh, what? Huh? Oh God, what did I just see? Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. Vander, you're gonna make it to. Yeah, honestly, you get to there where you're following the person, and you'll get about a square, maybe two farther, and that's it. It's almost like the laws of physics change.
Weird. Don't like that.
I would imagine so.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't like any of what I've experienced in the last couple of minutes.
This is not where I thought this would go. Uh, hmm.
I was not expecting that.
The fuck?
Yeah,
Nani?
I think that's
Nani
pretty
the
much
fuck?
sums it up.
Uh,
Yeah, Vander would very much like to have a nice quiet sit someplace. Uh, and if he can't blank out what he just saw, then he at least needs time to come to terms with it. Because that shit ain't right.
Reasonable.
And I guess after he's had a couple minutes, telepathically he'd ask everybody. Actually, speaking of everybody, is Untara with us still?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um,
Okay, does she know what the fuck that was?
Uh, no.
well, Vander would ask everybody, do we have to go in there?
Uh, um, well, maybe we can figure out the answer to our question without having to go inside. Because I would really prefer not to.
yeah, when we said belly of the beast, that's near what I was expecting.
Well,
So-
I mean,
Worst case
Oh.
scenario, I know I brought something. You know, if things go south.
I have seen Starship Troopers. Launching something like that down the throat of that will make it go pop. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I am fairly confident in our ability to destroy it. I just, yeah, like I don't know that we need to go inside to find out the answer to our question, but seeing it, that tells me a lot right there. And I'm really sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to drop off.
oh, that's
Right,
fine.
I need to
We
do
were wrapping it
something.
up right here. So.
Okay. Ah,
When they
creepy. Have a good night, guys.
yeah.
Bye.
AJ.
So when they said their boss is a huge asshole,
They were. They were not lying.
That's good. That's good.
This is
it
getting
just
weird.
makes it so much worse that it's reddish around the hole.
Mhm.
Oh,
The giant worm is chafed.